How's everybody doing? Got another DeVeaux Speaks for you today. It's been a couple of weeks, so I want to definitely get back and say hi to everybody and have some good conversations. There's a lot of politics, and I know one of my students hit me up and said, "When are we gonna get back to some of the advisory topics?" We got some good ones coming. Stuff on relationships, and I think the next one I'm gonna do is when the young guys they were talking about their girlfriend, their wifey versus their slide and all that. So that one's coming. But I want to get one more in politics because these past couple of weeks, I've been talking a lot about the Democratic debate and what's it going to look like for next year's election. And just wanted to get my thoughts out there for Democratic candidates and for anyone else looking to run for office, and a reminder to myself when I run for office in the near future. So there was 2 nights of debates. Everyone remembers about 2 weeks ago. A couple of things I heard that I wanted to bring about. One is this concept of what's realistic, what can really be done. So some people were talking about universal health care or free college tuition, and there was other people pushing back like this is just not real and we need to put real things forward and not pie in the sky. Be real careful of people telling you what's real and what's not. Let me give you some brief history of things in this country you can look up. I enjoy reading. I'm a math teacher, but history is my favorite subject. There was a time when people said end slavery and they said that's not real. That's not going to happen in this country. It wasn't the right time. There was a time women couldn't vote in this country, and people just was like, well, that's not real and that's pie in the sky and that's not going to happen. Matter of fact, every great thing that's ever happened in this country, you talk about Make America Great, it has a few great moments, but those great moments were always when there was people on the other side saying it wouldn't happen. We forget that often, that all the great moments in the country, there were people who were on the wrong side of history. And there's people on the wrong side of history today. When you had a Revolutionary War, yeah, we celebrate the founding fathers and the Minutemen, the militia. But there was Tories, there was people loyal to the British. They were on the wrong side. You talk about the Civil War and ending slavery in the country. Don't forget, big amount of Confederate soldiers, they still want to wave the flag today. These people who were treasonous against the country, and they still support, those today. When women had the right to vote. Don't forget, that was many states. It was actually state by state because there was plenty of states who still, the men in power didn't want their wives and daughters to vote. So when people say things like, oh, universal health care or free tuition, these are just impossible gains. We've done greater things than that in this country. And here's so crazy about how they play on your mind. There's countries that already do it. People are trying to make you believe that something is impossible that's already done because they don't want to give it to you. There's already countries who manage to educate their citizens for free. There's already countries who decided to healthcare is a right for all their citizens. And so it already presently exists, and you still have people getting up on stage, the politicians, trying to make you think that, oh, this is something not realistic. So, out of the 20 candidates, I like a few of them. I like a lot of them. But anybody who says providing for the citizens' health and education is not realistic, they're off my list. I already kicked them down to the curb. So that 20 for me is already down to about 14. On the second night, something really strange happened too. This is why I think Malcolm X has a great quote. I should have wrote it down. I'm driving. But he talks about history is the subject that's most valuable, to learn to help us go into the future. And I butchered that terribly. But I know we do a poor job of focusing on history because we do the same dumb stuff over and over again. On the second night, so Joe Biden, like him, love him, not here to promote anybody. But it was very clear that everybody thought he's the front runner, so we got to jump on and attack the front runner. Now, I get that. Hey, politics is not easy. So look, I get it. You're the front runner. You got to be able to take some blows. You got to be able to give some punches back. If you're going against Trump, we see how disrespectful and nasty this guy is. So we don't need any soft person running. Somebody, whoever's going to run against him, has got to be able to take some hits, and they got to be able to give back as good as they get. So I'm cool with that. Some people are like, oh, it's too much fight and attack. Look, you want to get the strongest person out of it. You know, if you're a boxer or a mixed martial artist, you know your sparring partner makes a big difference. If you have a good sparring partner, that's going to help you when it's time for combat. So right now, you got to have these debates to spar and get the best person ready. So I'm okay with that. However, a couple of knuckleheads crossed the line, in my opinion. President Obama, whatever you think about him, I can tell you this. Not only did he win twice, election and re-election, and this is with a whole party saying from the beginning on his inauguration day, we're going to do everything to stop this man from having any type of success, even if it hurts the country's citizens. Got elected twice, and both times won the popular vote. He didn't have to do the little tricky stuff that happened in the last election where, we just get the electoral college and more people don't vote for you. I think Trump lost by 3 million votes, whatever. Hillary got 3 million more votes, but the electoral college says he's the winner. I don't know when we're going to get rid of that craziness. Can you imagine that in any other place? Talking to my students, if we had a election for the class president and school president, and the person who won, we said, well, the other person had votes from a certain contingent of people, and so that's actually worth more. So even though you got more votes, you really lose. That's our electoral college for you. I know I simplified that a lot. But back to President Obama. Won the popular vote twice. But because of the media, because of people attacking him, and people screaming the country, I want my country back, and people wearing tea bags from their hats and doing all craziness. In 2010, after Obama was elected, you had people running for re-election in Congress, Democrats, who wanted to walk away from the president. They were saying some crazy stuff. I couldn't believe it. There were Democratic congressmen running like, I voted against the president on this. And the racism is so strong in this country that people who were from communities where they thought, I don't have to worry about, it's not a strong black or brown population, I'm going to say I'm against the president so I can hopefully get these votes. From this mystical group, these lunchbox Democrats, whatever, supposedly this group that existed 50 years ago that doesn't exist anymore. So they ran away from the popular guy, and guess what? They all lost anyway. And so you had this influx in 2010 of all these Republican constituents because people ran away from the guy who just won. That's the ridiculousness in this country, right? That you can convince people to cut off your nose to spite your face. And I think Democrats who are attacking Biden on his record as vice president, he was only vice president because President Obama chose him. So when you're attacking his 8 years, they're like, what did you do as vice president? You're really attacking the president. And I got news for you. If you think you can attack Barack Obama and win the election, you are sadly mistaken. All right, we already saw, not only Hillary got more votes, right, but one of the things that happened was they said the turnout was lower in the Democrats than it was for the two prior elections. So I know I'm kind of getting deep there for some of the young people, but stay with me. So they're saying Hillary, part of the problem was not that you didn't just lose votes to Trump, but the turnout was lower for Democrats. So there was people who voted for Barack Obama twice who didn't come out to vote for whatever the reason. It wasn't that people who voted for Barack Obama voted for Trump. That wasn't the situation, though there may have been a few. That wasn't the problem. The problem was people not turning out. So and I'm not going to name the names, but you could go back and look at that second night of that Democratic debate a couple of weeks ago, and you could see a couple of knuckleheads, one from Jersey and another one, thinking that they're going to attack Joe Biden. And there's a lot of stuff Joe Biden has to answer for, in his days as a Senate. But the 8 years with Barack Obama, my advice is leave it alone, bro. Because invariably, the vice president is only going to follow the president's agenda. And if you attack vice president, even Trump was just laughing the next day. They were attacking Barack Obama more than they were attacking me. Y'all should be embarrassed. You played yourself. And if your strategy is going to attack President Obama's record, who won the presidency twice, who won the popular vote twice, and you think you're going to try to attack somebody during on President Obama's record, you're going to turn people off, and that's a losing strategy. So just wanted to put that out there. One, hey, fight, have a hard fight, but don't be foolish and attack the last person who won the presidency for Democrats twice with the popular vote. Stay away from those 8 years. And two, be careful of people who are telling you that things that are helpful are just impossible. Because every good thing that ever happened in this country, somebody said it was impossible, it couldn't happen, it wasn't the right time, it would cost too much money. Yeah, that's every great thing that's ever happened here. So I'd stay away from people who don't have big dreams or big goals. Right, so that's it for today. Another little DeVeaux Speaks. I'm gonna get back to the stuff for the youth. That's coming. Maybe tomorrow I'll put one up. But it's good rapping with y'all, and thanks for the feedback. People calling me and talking to me and giving me ideas. Some of the most popular stuff too was the partnerships when I did with Perry and Darlene and others. So you want to join me for DeVeaux Speaks and we can sit and chop it up and record it. Let me know. I'd love to have somebody to talk with. All right, peace. Enjoy your day.